You're on.
Okay, today's October 4th, 2008, and we're going to talk about heirloom boxes. So, to get to heirloom boxes, I want to refer to this chart that shows the history of my work. You can see that it goes from 1962 up through 2007. I think I wrote this up in 2006. But what's interesting about this flow chart is an example of the influences that I've had to bring me to today. Now, here what you're looking. In fact, when I wrote this in 2006, I called this Disney decorative boxes. I didn't even call them heirloom boxes at the time. And if you follow this black line, and if you follow the pink line, you can see it go back. And the black line is called decorative art. And you can see it goes back through 1998. Remember, this is 2008, so here's 10 years back. And then it goes back to 1994 to the Tinker's Treasure, which is 14 years ago that this thinking began. And then the other thing you're going to see is limited color finish. That's the pink. And the pink follows this back. And the pink goes the whole way back to 1978. So people, when they talk with me, they say, gee, how do you think all this stuff up? And you can see that it just, these experiences of working on different things just cook out over these years. And so let's take a look and see just what I'm talking about. Here we are going back as far as maybe, I didn't pull anything from 1978, but certainly we're looking at work that goes back to the early 1980s. So here I was doing miniature figurative art, 1/12 scale. And we were doing full color reproductions of porcelain, but at the same time we were doing what we would call limited color. We did the Kuan Yin in 1980, and we started to experiment with limited color in ivory finishes. This is Blyman and the Elephant. This is from 1986. So then I got into doing some bronzes. Here you can see She Sounds. This is after a visit I did up in New England at the New Bedford Maritime Museum. And I was thinking, I was feeling so bad for myself at the time, thinking, I'm out here 28 days away from my family. And I go to this museum, and these guys are gone for a couple years, sometimes 4 years at a time, out on these whaling excursions. So after that trip, I quit complaining. After the visit to that museum, I quit complaining about the length of my trips. But this is where this came from. And you can see, instead of, we issued this as a bronze, and you can see the impact that it would start to have on me and my thinking about there were other things to do besides a full color palette. Now this one is limited color in just the blue and white Chinese porcelain style. And this is original design. This is original, but this is reproduction of the Blyman and the Elephant, very famous poem. So you take all that experience. So what happened to me is over those years, as I traveled, I really took my time to visit museums around the world. And here you can see it showing up in these pieces. So what happened to me is that I spent about 14 years at Goebel, and I was visiting all these museums, and when I left I had all of this pent up creativity which I wanted to explore and broaden the art form. And here we had 97 on staff, 65 painters, and there just wasn't any time for me to catch my breath and to start to put into, what would I say, set a course for trying new things. So let's take a look at this. This was done, one of my very first pieces after I left Goebel, and this is a Percival story. And this led very directly to heirloom boxes. And here it's my story, and I'd just like to show you a couple of these things. This is about me being a miniature man. You can see how big the bumblebee is next to me in the strawberries. This fellow here represents the emissary of Goebel, called the Viceroy. I called him the Viceroy. And here he's presenting me the deal to join Goebel. And so that's me showing him my work, holding my work up like this.
You can see these pictures online too.
Oh yeah, good comment. And here are the royalties. You can see the fruits of my labor and the fruit on the trees. And I'm not going to belabor this, but what you're seeing here is a real change in my thinking about the work. And what that change was is, if you go back, and I think someday we're going to release on our website those early videos of the 14 years that I traveled and did shows and visited shops. And I talked about the art form of miniatures. And one day I was sitting in my studio and I said, you know, Bob, this is getting too serious. And I think what you should do is, you know, relax. This is a decorative art. Remember, it can be in the decorative arts too. So what you're seeing here is a real step across, because remember, I had gone to the Victoria and Albert Museum, great decorative arts collection, and I had built up this great library of books on the decorative arts. And you can see the decorative arts starting to creep into the work. And 3 of us worked on this sculpture. And what you're seeing here is the real first, what I would call heirloom box thinking. And this is Mr. Goebel up here, a guy who I like very much. And at the time I had cancer of the colon. This is like 1993. And I almost lost my life and fought for it. I was in intensive care for 30 days. Here it is, 2008, and this is 1993. Got the lacerates of the church, and I'm laying there thinking, man, if I can survive this, I'm going to do 2 things. I'm going to propose to my girlfriend, and I'm going to leave Goebel and go back on my own and really go after this work creatively. So what you see here, I chose 2B. That meant I was going to survive the cancer. And what you see here is 2 Bs on a pin that you can wear, a piece of jewelry. Well, what this is about is, this is really a little tiny heirloom box. All surface detail, portraits on both sides, and it fits very nicely